From the Lower Colorado River Authority, this is Wavelength.
The creation of this new river authority will help electrify rural Texas.
And so today, we gather here to dedicate this mighty structure, the Cannondale.
But this has been a great organization for 60 years. It's going to be a great organization for a long time to come.
Hi everyone, welcome to the July 2004 edition of Wavelength. Well, when severe weather threatens Central Texas, most of us turn on the TV to find out what's happening.
Not a lot of sunshine the next couple days, and the potential of more flooding, more flash flooding.
Our local broadcast meteorologists tell us how bad the storm is, where it's headed, what streams are flooding, and how much rain is coming our way. This vital information comes together from many sources, including the National Weather Service and LCRA.
We'll start with the Travis projection, if you could go to that one. The solid line is the elevation projection that I put on there.
In late May, Austin TV meteorologists, reporters, and photographers gathered at Mansfield Dam for LCRA's 7th annual Meteorologist Day.
One of the focuses of having you all out here is because we're right at the beginning of the summer season, the busy season on the lakes, and y'all are going to be getting a lot of questions about the lake levels, lake operations, things like that.
The idea is to share information about flood management, river operations, lake level projections, drought management, and long-range weather projections.
Our biggest concern over the summer is going to be the hurricane season, because as many of y'all have seen, both NOAA and Dr. Gray and many other private services are saying this is going to be a busy season with above average activity.
After lunch, everyone got to see just how electricity is generated using water power.
Bob, thank you for joining us. Now, let's head inside and check out what is going on in the middle of Mansfield Dam.
There's a network of tunnels inside Mansfield Dam that runs for miles. Here, hydro crews can access these huge motors used to open and close floodgates. They also provide access for ongoing maintenance operations.
I thought it was very educational, learning some of the history of the lakes, some of the trivia, and getting to know a little more about what goes on behind the scenes here. I mean, you see this big dam, you drive over on 620, and you don't really understand what's going on inside of there. They're generating power, they're keeping a watch on the floodwaters for us, they're concerned about safety on the lakes, so folks at LCRA are doing a lot more than just watching the lake. There's a lot more going on, and I thought being out here today helped me appreciate that.
Talk about timely information. Less than 2 weeks after this gathering of meteorologists, Central Texas was hammered by torrential rains, causing LCRA to open floodgates at Buchanan, Wirtz, Starkey, Mansfield, and Tom Miller dams. This was a significant flood event, and LCRA staff drew praise for their efforts from General Manager Joe Beal and the Board of Directors.
Let me again commend the staff and the way in which they handled this flood. As I told you all yesterday, this flood had almost every element that a flood could have associated with it. And when you have a flood like that with a lot of different inputs from a lot of different places, it can be fraught with risk and the potential for mismanagement. These folks handled this flood perfectly. It was a textbook case, a good learning experience for a lot of young people, and or new people, and I will tell you that we are much better prepared to handle the next flood that we will have at some point in the future than we were before we had this one. So that's good news.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank the entire group once again for the job they did during that last flood. That was great.
Summertime in Central Texas. One of the most popular ways to escape the heat is to get away to one of the Highland Lakes. Unfortunately, fun trips to the lake can have tragic endings. Last year on Lake Travis alone, 8 people drowned, and more than half of those deaths involved alcohol. In an effort to raise awareness about water safety problems, LCRA has teamed up with Austin Travis County EMS to produce TV and radio public service announcements, which will air throughout the summer boating season. Your lake party shouldn't end with a search party. Drink responsibly, wear a life jacket, watch over friends and family.
They're still looking.
For water safety education to really be effective, you've got to come at all angles. We've got our communications pieces where we're reaching people at home on their TV. Then we also have the law enforcement that's out on the waterways that are reaching people that are out there boating and making sure that they are boating safely. Then we also have classes where people want to learn more about being a safe boater. And then we're reaching out to schools and organizations and communities at their events and going and talking with children and telling these children how they can be safe and we can make them future safe boaters on Texas waters.
LCRA boater safety classes are held around the Highland Lakes area, and this year's enrollment has doubled. You can now register for these classes online at lcra.org.
Drowning is the leading cause of death among children under 5. So the best thing that you can do to keep your children safe is put a life jacket on them.
Gathered in this room are the experiences of a lifetime of service to LCRA. Much of the history of the organization lives on in this group of former employees. Some 300 retirees, guests, and current staff gathered in May for the second annual LCRA Retirees Reunion.
Another $200 winner. Woo! I bet he's glad he came.
Door prizes got everyone going, but the main reason for this gathering was a chance to visit with old friends and make new ones. General Manager Joe Bill visited with retirees and brought them up to date on current issues and major projects at LCRA.
This vision is not something that's new.
He spoke about Vision 2010 and how it will focus the efforts of all employees on a common set of goals. He covered topics such as growth at LCRA in water, wastewater services and transmission services, new parks, what the next electric generation source might be, and of course, an issue of great interest to this group, benefits.
I understand how important health insurance is and how important that benefit is to you, and I pledge to you that we will continue to do everything that we can do to, number one, keep the price low, and number two, make sure you continue to have that benefit.
Joe says he feels it is very important to keep retirees informed and engaged in LCRA's mission so they can continue to be ambassadors out in their communities.
Oh, this is a wonderful event. This is the greatest thing that they've ever done for the retirees, being able to keep up with your old friends, because you never see these people on a day-to-day basis, and you get together and you see what they're doing, what their kids are doing, and that's a lot of fun. It's great.
I enjoyed every day of it and cried the day I left. Everybody was wonderful to work for and work with. And when we have all these gatherings, it's like Old Home Week. It's a wonderful organization, and they're good to their employees, and you just have to be good to them.
I appreciate what you all did for LCRA, and I appreciate the lives that you gave to LCRA. You devoted yourself to this organization, and you made it into a fantastic organization while you were the stewards of it, while you were there, and I thank you for that. If it hadn't have been for y'all, then I wouldn't get to do what I'm doing today, which is something that I dearly love. So thank you very, very much.
In June, 27 students from all around Central Texas received scholarships from LCRA. 20 of these students were awarded $2,000 each and plan to pursue a 4-year college degree. 7 more received $1,000 each from LCRA's Tomorrow program, which is funded by the Transmission Services Group. These scholarships are for students planning to attend technical school. 135 seniors were nominated by their schools to be considered for these awards. Criteria for selection includes grades, extracurricular activities, community involvement, financial need, and a personal statement.
As you start off on this next stage of your life, we are pleased from an LCRA perspective to be able to provide some bit of assistance. What we ask for in return is your commitment that you've exhibited in the past to community service, which is so critical to LCRA. We ask that you continue to do what you've done in the past, which is make good grades, be good students, be good citizens.
Brittany Otto plans to study agricultural business at Blinn College in Brenham, then transfer to Texas A&M. Her dad, Randy Otto, works at LCRA's Fayette Power Project in LaGrange.
Without people like this giving money to students who are actually planning to go to college and pursue a career, it makes everybody's life a little bit easier.
They was real excited, I guarantee you. We didn't really think we was going to get it, but she pulled it out for us, so we're proud of her.
Over the past 16 years, LCRA has awarded student scholarships totaling more than $1.2 million.
In the July issue of the LCRA News, read about the massive coordinated effort it took to overhaul Unit 2 at the Fayette Power Project in LaGrange, and how these scheduled outages keep all of LCRA's power plants running smoothly. Also, read about innovative ideas coming from employees throughout LCRA designed to save over $5 million this year. These stories and much more in the July LCRA News.
In June, LCRA held 4 town hall meetings throughout the region to listen to the public's concerns and answer questions about water-related issues.
The purpose of tonight's meeting is to listen to what's on your mind. It's been a number of years since we've been out in the basin talking to folks specifically about water.
At each meeting, General Manager Joe Beal gave an overview of major LCRA projects and issues related to water, including the recent flood, LCRA's increasing role in providing water and wastewater utility service in the region, possible changes in floodplain designations, and the LCRA San Antonio Water System Project.
San Antonio agreed this year to spend, I believe it was $4.2 million in this coming year to initiate those studies. And over the next 6 or 7 years, there will be a tremendous amount of effort put into analyzing this whole project to see if it really is feasible. And I pray that it is, because I don't know another way for us to solve our water problems.
Now, could you give me a little more information as to the wastewater side of the equation?
During the flood event, you folks did an excellent job. From our perspective, the lake, it was superb.
In the last few years, we have noticed algae blooms on Inks.
Anybody monitoring the water quality coming down Clear Creek?
What's the latest on looking at a dam or some kind of flood control on the Llano River?
Remember I told you about the Corps of Engineers doing their studies? One of the things that they will look at is the feasibility of a dry reservoir on the Llano.
Water meetings were also held in Smithville, Lakeway, and Wharton. Beal says that the public interest displayed at these town hall meetings demonstrates to LCRA just how important water-related issues are here in Texas. Well, that's it for this edition of Wavelength. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time.